I want you to just sort of walk us through all of this, because I think there's a lot of questions about what happened. I know that you've lost money in the process of all this.
That would be an understatement.
But I want to understand how much money you lost in the
Sure.
context. But I also want to understand how the investment and this ambassadorship happened. At the time that it happened, you did disclose it. But I want to understand how you went from calling crypto garbage at one point, as you know, to deciding that this was something that you were going to stand behind.
Yes, I recall that conversation, calling it garbage, right here on this show in 2017. That was a time when a New York hotel was being tokenized here, and I was looking at that, and the regulator let me know they were not happy with that idea. And that's when I stepped away from this, because clearly the regulatory environment was not prepared. Then facts changed. I saw the Canadians issue the first ETF with Bitcoin as the underlying, Ethereum, then Switzerland opened up, then Australia opened up, and then I said, wait a second, world's changing, I got to be an investor. And that started my journey. I'm an investor in the largest regulated exchange in Canada, called WonderFi. The wallets are called BitBuy. We're regulated by the OSC. I have my accounts up there. Right. But I felt that getting involved when I was approached with Sam Bankman-Fried, that I could get an inside seat on what was considered then. And I got to tell you, the institutional interest in FTX on the U.S. equity was unbelievable. The amount of people that approached me saying, how do I get a piece of this deal? And I said at that time, I am a paid spokesperson. I cannot bring you in as an LP. Not a single dollar that I lost is anybody else's money except mine. That's important for me because that's an issue.
How much were you paid?
Total deal was just under $15 million, all in, including a bunch of agents that I had to pay because I needed SAG-AFTRA release to be able to do commercials for it, and when I did that. I put about $9.7 million into crypto. I think that's what I've lost. It's all at zero. I don't know because my account got scraped a couple of weeks ago. All the data, all the coins, everything. So then I lost the money I invested in the equity as well. Those are zeros too. It was not a good investment, Andrew, okay? I don't make great investments all the time. Luckily, I make more good ones than bad ones, but that was a bad one.
Okay, let me ask you this, though. When you made this arrangement, this is back in August 10th, 2021,
yeah.
You said the following. You said, to find crypto investment opportunities that met my own rigorous standards, that was your phrase, of compliance, I entered into this relationship with FTX. It has some of the best crypto exchange offerings I've seen on the market.
Yes.
Given that you were the spokesman and ambassador for this company,
yes, because
what kind of diligence did you do around this issue of compliance, given where we sit today?
I obviously know all the institutional investors in this deal. We all look like idiots. Let's put that on the table, okay? We relied on each other's due diligence, but we also relied on another investment theme that I felt drove a lot of interest in FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried is an American. His parents are American compliance lawyers. There were no other American large exchanges to invest in if you wanted to invest in crypto as an infrastructure play. So many of us said, wait a second, who's coming to this deal? We knew, for example,
this sounds like
Tiger.
This sounds like groupthink. Did you know there was no CFO?
Look, at the end of the day, to say that there was no CFO is also a bit of a falsehood. This was a nascent industry with a disruptor at its helm, creating positions that didn't have traditional names, okay? That's just the way it was. In retrospect, yes, it's a mistake. However, I feel obliged at this point to go to the end of this, particularly...
What does that mean?
It means that I need to find where the money went. I'm going to start with my own journey, with my own account. Bankman-Fried reached out to me last Saturday, and I said, look, Sam, I am just one investor, but my account has a zero in it, and there are no accounting records. Where did the money go? And to the extent you can help me, tell me, point me in the direction, because I will, on behalf of every other shareholder, go find where this money is. The next day we talked for over an hour, and he walked me through his scenario, and I learned a lot. Now, sorry?
What did you learn?
I learned, first of all, I said, what was the large drawdown of your capital? Where did the cash go? one of the biggest uses of cash was to buy back his shares from Binance, which owns 20% of his exchange. And the reason he had to do that, according to him, was that every time they applied for a license anywhere, the Know Your Client got jammed up with Binance, where the ownership is opaque. And he had to buy it back. That cost him a lot, a couple of $1 billion.
But do you think that he was taking customer funds to do that?
Yeah. Did he take that money from customers to get it?
Well, the only way to answer that question, and I told him, and he agreed. I said, look, Sam, you start this journey with me, and wherever the chips fall, that's on you. Because, we're talking about this. I'm going to pursue it. I agreed last night when Pat Toomey called me to sit on that committee next week. I will be a witness there.
You plan to testify?
I've agreed to testify. He called me last night around 8 o'clock. I agreed to testify. I've spent a lot of my time on the Hill.
You may have said, maybe I wasn't listening close enough. So the money that you lost, was it all just the money that you were compensated for being a spokesperson for FTX? The 9.7. That was money they gave you, and then you lost. Did you lose any? Did you lose any money of your own before you were how much? Before you were compensated?
Well, listen. At the end of the day, I look at the compensation as a source of income.
No, I know. But are you net down from your own net worth, or did you got the 15 million and you lost 9 of the 15 million?
I net down. I paid millions in taxes, and I hopefully can recoup those. I paid millions in fees to agents. Are you kidding?
All right.
This has not been a great experience.
But losing 15 million that he gave you to be the spokesperson is a little bit different than a lot of people who put money.
Go back to the compliance issue. And the reason I'm asking is, I think, look, a lot of people have looked to you over the years as somebody who is an investor and a successful investor, and they follow you. That's the point of why they, right? And so they're looking at this and saying, what kind of compliance did this guy do? And just asking around and seeing who else was investing is not compliance unto itself.
Well, we did compliance, and the way we did it, we said, let's look at the platform and let's see if it can link to our actual reporting systems. Is it robust enough to allow us to be compliant? Because I also issue securities through other investments.
But
like
did you ask questions about, for example, look, the board piece of it, the CFO piece of it, all of those would be considered compliance red flags. But
Andrew, if you're asking, did I do enough due diligence, the answer is no. Did I rely like others did in Joe's concept of groupthink? Yes, we all did that.
But did you ask, though, about the relationship between Alameda and FTX?
At that time, Alameda was just another account in FTX, okay?
By the way, not just another account. At some point, it might have represented close to 50% of the business that was even on FTX.
And there is where I call you out and say, how do you know that if you have no records? And my whole point about this is all of these allegations, all these claims, all of this Sam Bankman-Fried took money out, took it in, whatever. Nobody knows because there's no data. That data, as I learned, according to Sam, is sitting on a server backed up on AWS. Right now, all roads lead to John Ray, it seems. Sam says he can flip the switch. I need that data. I can't go get the money unless I have the data where it went.
Here's what I don't understand. I mean, you're right. Everybody who we thought were savvy investors can look at this and say, we should have seen the signs. We should have known. I listened to the interview that Andrew did with him at DealBook, and I thought, that guy's a crook and a liar. You listened to it and said you'd invest money with him again if it turns out there's nothing criminally wrong here. What did you hear that I didn't hear?
The context of that is I have been known for decades to invest in entrepreneurs that have had catastrophic outcomes, bad ones, because they learn a lot from their mistakes. It may not fit for Sam Bankman-Fried because we don't know the outcome, what's going to occur.
Yeah, but all I can say is everything he said, I just didn't realize. You didn't realize there was an $8 billion hole. You didn't realize that there was like clients' funds that were being swapped over there. It's not his fault. Like that to me is like, man, that guy has bad news. That's not just you had bad luck. He was lying and manipulating.
You don't know because you have no data. All I'm saying is let's do the forensic audit. Let's do the forensic audit. Let's find out what happened. I owe everybody that follows me, as you said, Andrew, I owe them that information. I feel compelled to go get it. I am going to go get it. I'm lucky. I have resources to do it.
Let me ask you this. The FTT token, which was one of the sort of underlying component parts, the sort of collateral that was used in part for this entire...
It is not unusual for an exchange to have a token. Look at Binance. They have one too.
So my question to you, though, is you say you own it, which is now obviously close to worthless.
I don't know where it is, but I own it. It was scraped out of my account.
Did you buy it? Did you have to buy it? Because one of the things that people have raised is this idea that there was a period of time, especially as things got more dicey for the firm over the summer, that he was pushing people to either buy it and hold it. Some people look at the acquisition of BlockFi as a way to effectively defensively protect against that valuation of FTT going down because of their stake in it. I mean, do you think there was manipulation in that regard?
I don't think so. I asked, because I have a rule in our shop that I don't want more than 5% in any one position. So I said, I'm going to buy a series of tokens and positions, and I owned 32 of them, about that, 32, I can't remember exactly, but we had a lot of diversity. Some of them were FTT, some were locked up. There was Serum, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera, and USDC. I just want to make a point, though. You know, this doesn't change the potential for what crypto can be at all. This is no different than Enron or maybe Lehman or Bear Stearns or whatever you want. You don't know the outcome yet. You have to pursue it. You have to do the forensic audit. Enron goes to zero, and I think Toomey said this himself. It didn't change energy trading. Who cares? If Sam Bankman-Fried did anything wrong, we're going to find out through the forensic audit.
What do you think?
You know, I don't know. And I'm going to follow the path and be part of the process. I also should disclose to you that I applied for the credit committee just before midnight last night. There will only be 7 members on it. There's thousands of people that want to be on that credit committee, but I think I have a unique view from the inside out, and I think I can be helpful there as a fiduciary. I am going to drive the process, if I can. Crypto, blockchain will be the 12th sector of the S&P. There's just too much promise for this technology. That is going to happen. Along the way, we are going to scrape the idiot management out of this because it's a nascent industry. I would argue we're better off today. There's so many companies that have gone bankrupt that have weak management, and they're not coming back.
Do you think that Sam has told you the truth?
I don't know. And I told him, I said, Sam, I need my data. I need the data, and I'll find out if you told me the truth. But if you haven't told me the truth, you're on your own.
Doesn't he feel like weaselly and squirmy?
You interviewed him. What do you think?
I think he believes what he's saying, but I don't know if
what does that
saying.
mean?
I think that he believes what he's saying.
Well, let me ask all of you
But
a
I
different
don't know.
question.
I honestly don't know.
All 3 of you, do you believe someone in this country is innocent till proven guilty, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, in the face of the court, but not in public face
Do you
public
think he
opinion.
will-
And I have a real reason to think that if it were me, like,
Well,
tell me,
then
my
why is he
Spidey
guilty
sense
in
is
your
going
eyes
off.
right now? Why is he
Because
guilty?
I don't think he answers any of the questions directly. I think he tiptoes and tap dances around it. I think there's a lot of things he could have done to explain that he has not. Where's the $8 billion? What happened?
I can't believe anybody would say to me, you are backing Sam Bankman-Fried, when all I say is, in this country, one of the reasons it's great is we assume innocence until otherwise, until you're proven guilty. And are you telling me, Becky, you're not doing that?
Yeah, actually, in this
Okay,
case,
well,
like,
then
I would think
you've
that. I've
your
made my decision.
without-
I'm not the court,
Kevin,
but I've made my
you think-
You made your
decision.
decision with the basis of no information.
You think
he's talked a
OJ
lot.
was innocent before? I mean, I know that that's I know it's true, but there are times when you might have a pretty good idea about whether someone
Joe,
is.
that's a tough analogy.
I'm not making it as an analogy. I'm saying there are times in the past where we know that's why if you're a defense attorney that represents someone that you know is guilty, you got to say, yeah, well, they're innocent, but you may know they're guilty. You may know they're guilty. If you watch someone kill someone, yeah, they're innocent until proven guilty.
There's only the murder of my money in this case, okay?
It's murder of FTX's money, in my view.
Everybody's. Look, Joe, if you...
Because it was FTX's money that you got. I don't think you should be singing the blues right now at all.
Oh, yes, I'm singing the blues.
Why? Because your $15 million didn't pan out. That's a lot of money to be a paid spokesperson. It's a lot of money. You didn't have to do much for that. That's found money,
That's a different
Kevin.
decision. That's a different discussion.
Okay.
You can make that decision on your own, but I'm going to this point
found money.
that if
That's
you
like
want to
picking
say
up off
he's
the
guilty
street.
before he's tried, I just don't understand it.
But it may end up
I have every
costing you
right to have to
15
make a
for
decision.
reputational and everything else. That's the problem.
That's why I stay on this pursuit. I'm very transparent about it. I've disclosed everything I know about it. I will find out more information. If I make the credit committee, I will act as a fiduciary for everybody involved. I will testify. I am an advocate for this industry, and this changes nothing. Just look at the numbers that came out of Circle today. I'm an investor there too. You've got the I lost it all on FTX, and we have a fantastic print on Circle. The promise of crypto remains. This will not change it. And you'll be discussing this case for 2 years. It's not going to go away.
I think at least it's
Kevin
going to take
O'Leary,
long to
I want to thank you for joining us this morning.
It's been a pleasure.
It sure has. And we do look forward to your testimony next week.
I will be there, Andrew.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Thanks.